Hello, and thank you for viewing this Penns Manor Veterans Day video. My name is Gwen Stahl. I am the president of class of 2021 and a cadet lieutenant colonel in the Civil Air Patrol Cadet Program. Penns Manor students, staff, and community members usually gather together on this day to commemorate Veterans Day. This year, the COVID pandemic is preventing us from gathering as we usually do, but it is still important to take time to remember and honor our nation's veterans. It is my privilege to introduce you to three Penns Manor comments. Mr. David Grimaldi, Director of Education and a veteran of the United States Army. Mr. Mark Dalton, Supervisor of Buildings and Grounds and a veteran of the United States Air Force. And Mrs. Kimberly Bodek, Learning Support Teacher and a veteran of the United States Marine Corps. These veterans will now lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Will all students viewing this during class please rise and join in the pledge. Students should remain standing for the playing of our national anthem.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Patriotic music has always been part of our Veterans Day commemoration, and this year we are pleased to continue that tradition. Our band director, Mr. Paul Rode, will now lead the Penns Manor High School Band in their playing of American Salute. Hello, my name is Jericho Lindsay and I am the president of Penns Manor Student Council. It is my privilege to introduce you to our guest speakers. Our first speaker is State Representative Jim Struzzi. Representative Struzzi won election in November of 2018 to represent the 62nd Legislative District. He is a graduate of Penn Trafford High School and the University of Pittsburgh in Greensburg, where he earned a bachelor's degree in English. Representative Struzzi worked as a journalist, a press secretary for the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation, and as president of the Indiana County Chamber of Commerce. Thank you, Representative Struzzi.
Greetings, Penns Manor students, faculty, and families. I am State Representative Jim Struzzi. I'd like to thank you for this opportunity to honor the brave men and women who have fought to defend our great nation. Today, our nation will pause to reflect upon the noble sacrifices that our veterans have made to protect our freedoms and democracy. A common theme in the speeches we will hear is bravery. These veterans have fought in the World War II, Korea, Vietnam, the Persian Gulf, the Middle East, and other foreign wars. As we all reflect on the many contributions veterans have made in keeping our democracy safe and strong, we must not forget the struggles and the horrors of war they have witnessed. Some sustaining life-altering wounds, all having spent time away from their families, and many saw friends die in their arms. Sadly, we have lost many brave men and women to war over the years. Western Pennsylvania, having one of the highest populations of veterans in the Commonwealth, has not been immune to those losses. As we honor our veterans today, we also honor these courageous men and women and recognize the ultimate sacrifice they have made for our freedom. On Veterans Day, we celebrate the duty, courage, and sacrifice, and we must put our full faith in these ideals that have served this nation well over the past 2 centuries. Now, I'd like to share a brief history lesson. Veterans Day wasn't commemorated until the 20th century when, at the 11th hour on the 11th day of the 11th month, the Allied powers signed a ceasefire agreement with Germany in 1918, effectively ending World War I. Official recognition of the end of the first modern global conflict, World War I, was enacted by Congress on June 4, 1926. In 1938, Congress approved a bill that declared the 11th of November in each year a legal holiday, a day dedicated to the cause of world peace and to be hereafter celebrated and known as Armistice Day. In 1954, the word armistice was changed to veterans to reflect the contributions of veterans from all wars. This date is meant to be a reflection and a celebration to honor Americans' veterans for their patriotism, love of country, and willingness to serve and sacrifice for the common good of our nation. It is also extremely important to remember that war has a human side. Veterans come from all walks of life. They are our mothers and fathers, grandparents, great-grandparents, aunts and uncles, neighbors, and people in our community and across the Commonwealth. But as much as they may differ by gender, race, age, national origin, or profession, they share a common love for our great nation, a love great enough to put their very lives on the line to guarantee the way of life we enjoy today, and to secure that freedom for tomorrow's generations. Never take that for granted. Remember that we are eternally indebted to America's veterans. Don't forget the sacrifices made, the courage exhibited, and the blood spilled. President Calvin Coolidge once said, "A nation which forgets its defenders will itself be forgotten." On Veterans Day, as we should every day, we proclaim that we have not forgotten, nor will we ever forget. Veterans of all generations and of all conflicts have given so much for this country. We honor the men and women of our armed forces now and forever. Thank you, and God bless America.
Our next speaker is Senator Joe Pittman. Senator Pittman won a special election for the 41st Senatorial District to complete the unexpired term of Senator Don White. Senator Pittman served as White's Chief of Staff through his tenure in office. The senator is a 1995 graduate of Purchase Line High School and is a 1998 graduate of Penn State University, where he earned a bachelor's degree in political science. Senator Pittman currently serves on the Appropriations, Banking and Insurance, Communications and Technology, Environmental Resources and Energy, Gaming and Fisheries, and Judiciary Committees. Thank you, Senator Pittman.
Each November, our nation sets aside a special day to honor veterans, meaning all of the men and women who have served in our armed forces during both peacetime and war. We celebrate Veterans Day because we owe a huge debt of gratitude to these folks. Some have served in the Army, others have served in the Navy, while yet others have served in the Air Force or the Marines. But regardless of what branch of the military they joined or where they are stationed, they all played a part in defending our nation. Unlike some countries that force young people to serve in the military, the United States depends on volunteers. In other words, of all of the choices they could have made, our servicemen and women decided to take time out of their lives to protect their country. They are proud to represent a country that believes so strongly in freedom for people like you and me. We have the freedom to go to the church we want, to speak our minds in public, and to get a good education. Many places around the world don't offer their citizens those freedoms. That's why it's so important for the United States to have a strong military to defend our way of life. It allows us to sleep easier at night, knowing that brave, good people are looking out for us, both here and overseas. That's why we thank our veterans on Veterans Day. In the past, they've done heroic deeds. They've traveled around the world to protect our country in World Wars I and II, in Korea and Vietnam, and in the Middle East. Even today, our servicemen and women, tomorrow's veterans, are actively defending our nation. The funny thing is, most of these veterans don't look like heroes, not the way we expect heroes to look. Most of them just look like regular people. In fact, you might have people in your own families, grandparents, aunts, uncles, or even your own parents who have served in the military and have done great deeds. Even if they did not fight in war, they deserve our respect and thanks. During peacetime, the men and women who choose to serve in the military are still taking an enormous risk. They must always be at the ready to defend our country. Every one of them is a hero. We are fortunate to live in the United States of America, and we owe that good fortune to the people who have served and to those now serving in the military. We must never forget that on Veterans Day or any other day.
Veterans Day is our chance to show we appreciate and respect all the veterans in our community. We will now show a video segment honoring the memory of a very special comment, Lance Corporal Joshua T. Twig.
We're very lucky here at Penns Manor. Over the years, dedicated advisors and talented students have given us wonderful yearbooks that are now available on the school's webpage. Students recently received the 2020 edition of the Comet Flash. It records a special year, with seniors completing graduation during a pandemic, sports teams making the best of seasons cut short, and students working together to make the best of a tough year. But this isn't the first time our yearbook has shown Penns Manor managing through a difficult time. Here's the 2002 yearbook. It has all the things you would expect in a yearbook. Senior class characters counting the days till graduation, sports teams doing their best to make us all proud, and 7th graders taking the first steps on their high school career. But there's something special about this yearbook. They chose to have the flag of the United States displayed on the cover for a reason. Our country had been attacked. The final pages of the yearbook recorded the 9/11 attack that shaped that school year. How terrorists based in the failed state of Afghanistan launched attacks against symbols of American strength and democracy, and how the nation joined together to remember the victims and seek justice and security in the years to come. On October the 7th, 2001, U.S. forces invaded the nation of Afghanistan to bring justice to the Al-Qaeda terrorists responsible for the attack. Later, the United States would also invade the country of Iraq in what would become known as the War on Terror. U.S. forces would be fighting in Iraq from March 18, 2003 until December 15, 2011. United States forces are still fighting in the country of Afghanistan. Meanwhile, back at home, by 2007, things seemed to have gotten back to normal. Even though our country was fighting 2 wars, the Comet Flash shows seniors eager to graduate, students doing the things they love, and the football team was doing better. Though 2 wars were happening overseas, things seemed to be back to normal. Let me introduce you to someone who helped make that happen. This is Josh Twig. He was eager to graduate his senior year. He loved the outdoors, and he made his mark on the football team. But Josh was also a character. He was a great friend, and other people just liked being around him. Someone who can make other people talk, laugh, and smile. The pages of his senior yearbook show how Josh made a difference at Penns Manor, and how, like all seniors, he was ready to move on to the next chapter of his life. But unlike many of us, Josh chose to make the next chapter one of service to his country as a United States Marine in time of war. Lance Corporal Joshua T. Twigg served first in the war in Iraq. He then volunteered for service in Afghanistan. The following statement was released by the Twigg family on September 2nd, 2010. The United States Marine Corps contacted Mr. and Mrs. Twigg early Thursday morning to inform them that their son, Joshua T. Twigg, was killed by hostile fire in Afghanistan. Josh was proud to serve his country as a Marine, having served previously in Iraq 2 years ago and volunteering to be deployed to Afghanistan. On September the 8th, 2010, a memorial service was held for Lance Corporal Joshua T. Twigg in Helmand Province, Afghanistan. The memorial service was held in front of the battle cross erected in his honor. His commanders and comrades came forward to recognize his sacrifice and service, and to grieve his loss. His fellow Marines then gave him a final salute, and Lance Corporal Joshua T. Twigg came home to the country he loved. Joshua's name now appears on the honor roll of the Indiana County War Memorial. And Josh's family and friends have continued to honor his memory with regular events, including a 20-mile memorial run and wreath laying in 2017. In 2018, state and county leaders also honored Josh's memory by dedicating the Lance Corporal Joshua T. Twigg Memorial Bridge on Route 286 over the Tulip Creek in Klamath. So this Veterans Day, remember Josh and all our nation's veterans, and keep your eyes open as you walk down the hallway at school. You never know when a hero might cross your path.
We are honored to have Sheriff Robert Fyock with us. Sheriff Fyock is a Vietnam veteran who served as a military police officer in the United States Army. He has served 48 years in law enforcement roles, including Chief County Detective, Jail Warden, Deputy Sheriff, and Correctional Officer. Sheriff Fyock is the past president of the Pennsylvania Sheriff's Association and board president of the Open Door Drug and Alcohol Treatment Center. In 2015, Mr. Fyock was the first sheriff recognized as the American Legion Department of Pennsylvania Law Enforcement Officer of the Year. Sheriff Fyock will direct Boy Scouts of Troop 10 in Penn Run through the American Legion flag holding ceremony.
Good morning. I want to thank you for giving me the honor and the opportunity and the privilege to be part of your Veterans Day program here today. While only one day each year, being 11 November, is solely dedicated to honor our veterans, we must never forget all the lives which have been lost and the many sacrifices which many of our fellow Americans have made in order to defend our countries and our freedom. Our veterans have helped to make this world a better place, and we can never truly repay the debt that we owe each and every one of them. Their service and sacrifices made for our freedom will never be forgotten. I salute each and every veteran and what they have provided for this country and for their service. There is no better symbol of our country's values and tradition than the flag of the United States. It continues to exemplify the proud commitment to freedom, equality, and opportunity made by our founders more than 2 centuries ago. The American flag serves as a daily reminder of our country's past accomplishments and its ongoing dedication to the safeguarding of all individual rights. I am not sure how many of you know or even know why the flag is folded 13 times when it is lowered and handed to the widow or a family member at the burial of a veteran. I would like to go over this information with you now as to the meaning of each of these folds. Helping me with the flag folding ceremony this morning is Logan Keith, Tyler Malott, who are in the 7th grade, Logan McCunn, who is in the 10th grade, and Devin McCunn, who is a senior this year. Why the flag is folded 13 times. Here is the meaning of each of those folds and what it means to you. The first fold of our flag is the symbol of life. The second fold is the symbol of our belief in eternal life. The third fold is made in honor and remembrance of the veterans departing our ranks who gave a portion of their lives for the defense of our country to attain peace throughout the world. The fourth fold represents our weaker nature, for as American citizens trusting in God, it is to Him that we turn in times of peace as well as in times of war for His divine guidance. The fifth fold is a tribute to our country, for in the words of Stephen Decanter, our country in dealing with other countries may she always be right, but it is still our country, right or wrong. The sixth fold is for where our hearts lie. It is with our heart that we pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The seventh fold is a tribute to our armed forces, for it is through our armed forces that we protect our country and our flag against all of her enemies, whether they be found within or without the boundaries of our republic. The eighth fold is a tribute to the one who entered into the valley of the shadow of death, that we may see the light of day, and to honor Mother, for whom it flies on Mother's Day. The ninth fold is a tribute to womanhood, for it has been through their faith, their love, and devotion that the character of the men and women who have made this country great have been molded. The 10th fold is a tribute to the Father, for He too has given His sons and daughters for the defense of our country since they were first born. The 11th fold, in the eyes of the Hebrew citizen, represents the lower portion of the seal of King David and King Solomon, and glorifies in their eyes the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The 12th fold, in the eyes of the Christian citizen, represents the emblem of the eternity and glorifies in their eyes God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. When the flag is completely folded, the stars are uppermost, reminding us of our nation's motto, "In God we trust." After the flag is completely folded and tucked in, it takes the appearance of a cocked hat, ever reminding us of the soldiers who served under General George Washington and the sailors and Marines who served under Captain John Paul Jones who were then followed by their comrades and shipmates in the armed forces of the United States, preserving for us our rights, privileges, and the freedoms which we all enjoy today. Now, the next time you see a flag folding ceremony honoring someone that has served our country either in the armed forces or in our civilian services such as law enforcement or the fire departments, please keep in mind all the important reasons behind each and every movement. They have made the ultimate sacrifice for all of us by honoring our flag and our country. Thank each and every one of you, and may God bless the USA.
Now with some closing comments is our high school principal, Mrs. Michelle Dolges.
On behalf of our Penns Manor family, I would like to say thank you to all veterans, fallen soldiers, and families. I would also like to thank the students and faculty who take their time to make our Veterans Day program special, even during these unusual times. It is important that we take the time to thank the thousands who continue to protect us on a daily basis while we go about our daily lives. You sacrifice your life and time away from your family so that we may be home with ours. Many of us will never experience the sacrifice, which is why we take the time to honor those who are willing to do so. So again, thank you for your dedication, your service. Happy Veterans Day.